Lumity One-Shots by its_Kingston on AO3. Episode 4, Chapter 4, Dates and Demons. Hey, Luce. The girl in question looked up from her homework, rubbing her eyes tiredly. Yeah? I was just thinking that tomorrow we should go out and have some fun. You've been studying a lot for the exams. You need a break. Abby put a hand on her girlfriend's shoulder and gave a soft smile. Yeah, you're probably right. Lou stood up from her chair. Do you want to go anywhere in particular? I've got a few ideas, but you'll have to wait until tomorrow to find out, Amity declared, before staring out of the room. Luce caught her eye by her shoulder and gave her a quick kiss on the cheek. I'll make sure they'll be awesome. It was a chilly day in the human realm. Not enough so to need a jacket, but when the wind blew, you could tell how close Halloween was. Leaves crunched softly beneath the shoes of the people walking around, and carved pumpkins began dotting porches in the area. Jacob heaved a sigh, groaning dramatically as he leaned against a tree, his feet being sliding, and he fell slowly to the ground, dragging his back across the dark roughly as he did so. Oh, jeez. I love this jacket. I had it made to look like custom armor. He complained quietly, leaning his head back into his hands. He had been fired from the Gravefield Museum after messing with the exhibits, though he was just trying to warn people about the demons. If I could only find one discovery, one more specimen. He trailed off, watching leaves cascade to the ground in their different dances around them. They'll believe me. Oh, come on, Amity, tell me. Luce playfully complained, for the third time since the pair had set off walking. Nope. I told you it would be a surprise. Amity closed her arms defiantly. She was wearing her oversized Monster Slayer Academia shirt she may or may not have taken from Luce's closet. The gray hood was up to prevent anyone from noticing her ears. You said I found out tomorrow, and tomorrow is today, Luce replied. She stuffed her hands into the pockets of Ida's old grubby jacket, one of the few possessions she had kept from her time in the demon realm. She felt steering being in her pocket, the cool, smooth wood giving a familiar, reassuring feeling. Yeah, but it'll be more fun if it's a surprise when we get there, Amity said. She had taken into the time to plan this day out, and if it all went to plan, it would be amazing. No monsters, no mysteries, no deadly duels. It'll be the most mundane, slice-of-life date ever. And it'll be awesome. Okay. Luce stubbornly agreed. They were walking in silence past the Graveyard Museum when a strong gust of wind came through. It blew Amity's hood down and ruffled Luce's hair. I should have worn my beanie. Luce tried to smooth her hair back, but gave up the toreful effort. No, it's cute like that. Amity smiled. She put her hood back up and continued walking, unaware of the consequence this event held. Jacob Hoppins had been minding his own business, for the most part, when two girls walked past him. He had been watching the leaves as they scudded across the roads when cars flew by, or as they fell free from their perches in the trees to the frost-touched grass. That's where he saw his proof. The girls had walked past when the wind blowing violently knocked back the hoodie of the purple-haired one. Jacob saw it, only for a split second, but he knew it. Pointed ears. Luce gasped, smiling brightly, before turning to her girlfriend. Really? I used to love this place as a kid. They stood in front of an ice cream parlor, decorated like it was from the 1980s. Red booths lined the large glass windows, and black and white checkered tiles covered the floor. Yeah, your mom told me how much you liked this place, so I figured we could stop here before going to where I picked out, Amity exclaimed, wiggling her hands together nervously. Although she knew Luce wouldn't do anything to intentionally hurt her feelings, she still felt anxious to have planned an entire day for them. Yeah, that sounds great. Luce couldn't stop smiling at this point. The pair walked in, and the bell chimed in a welcome tune. A blast of cold air adapted to the low temperature outside. It really wasn't the best time for ice cream, but it tasted good nonetheless. A few minutes later, the bell chimed again, and a man walked in behind them. He stood perfectly in line, waiting for Luce and Amity to get their ice creams before opening his. "Vanilla, please," he requested, his eyes not leaving Amity as he spoke to the cashier. "Would that be all?" they asked politely, mildly confused about the man's lack of attention. Amity grabbed Luce's free hand with hers, lightly pulling her girlfriend out of the parlor. "Are we not eating at the booths?" Luce asked as she ate her chocolate ice cream. A few sprinkles fell to the side, sliding a groan from Luce. "I planned on it, but the guy wouldn't stop staring at me, and it freaked me out," Amity said, glancing a glare over her shoulder. He still stood in the line, making small talk with the cashier. He turned to Amity upon being handed his cone, watching her walk as she and Luce grew further from the store. "Right then, too." "Really? Jeez, what a creep. We'll go somewhere else then. Anywhere's fine with me." Luce put an arm around Amity's shoulder, using her other to hold her ice cream cone. Amity leaned into Luce, beginning to eat her mint chocolate chip ice cream. "Did you happen to hear where those girls are heading to next?" Jacob asked the cashier as he paid for his ice cream. "No, that's really creepy, dude. If you go after some high school-looking girls, I'm gonna call the cops or something," the cashier told him, giving him a disgusted look. No, 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 not like that." Jacob shook his head violently, causing the ice cream to fall out of its cone. He didn't seem to notice, or care, and continued talking. "I'm gonna prove the hooded one is a witch from Mars. She's plotting to steal our teeth. You can watch my MeToo videos on it. My channel is Mars Believer J-Hop." "Okay, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave our parlor and maybe seek some help," the cashier said calmly, gesturing towards the door. Jacob stomped towards the door, turning around to angrily add a final comment as he did. "Don't blame me when your teeth are stolen." "I won't, sir. Don't worry," the cashier grumbled, moving to clean up the mess Jacob had created in his 3 minutes of being there. "Hey, Amity?" Luce said gently, as if she was struggling to breach the topic. "Yeah?" Amity looked over curiously. "I'm sorry that we haven't been going out as much. Not just me and you on dates, but all of us hanging out. I've gotten a little too into studying for exams, huh?" Luce said apologetically. Amity grabbed her hand lightly and stopped walking. "It's all right. I know how much this application means to you, and I'm going to support you through it. Besides, we could still go out, like this, now, right? Willow, Gus, Hunter, and V have their own things to do, so even if your schedule allows us to hang out, theirs might not. It's not all your fault, and it's not a problem to begin with." Luce smiled, a soft, genuine smile. "Thanks. For the record, I really had fun hanging out with you. We should 100% do this more often." Amity returned the smile. "Definitely." She let go of Luce's hand to cup her face gently. They both leaned in, meeting for a quick but passionate kiss. That told the rest of the emotions words couldn't. "Come on. If the sun sets before we get to the spot, we won't be able to watch it," Amity said quietly as she leaned away, still smiling. "The sun doesn't set for another few hours." Luce laughed lightly. "And hey, now I know what we're doing." Amity chuckled and took Luce's hand again, walking with her to the hill she'd picked out, and set up. "Huh? What?" Jacob peered out from around a tree, watching the pair, stopped walking. He pulled out a voice recording, whispering softly into the microphone. "Ice cream is a strange choice. It has loads of sugar that'll rot the human's teeth. Maybe the sugar helps power their machinery on Mars? Or is this the humans' chosen last meal? No, that wouldn't make sense. Unless they kill when they harvest their teeth." He made a slightly louder gasp noise and quickly ducked behind trees, scared to be noticed. He stayed hidden until he heard talking again, making sure the pair hadn't seen him and continued towards their objective. So, I think that is the final book. Instead of sacrificing the power that she was given to help the Prince of Falzo, Azura should ask, had Tekes to help her. Luce exclaimed, gesturing as she did. The pair finished their ice cream long ago, and as the sun got closer and closer to the horizon, it got chillier. They turned off the main road and down a dirt path to the location Amity prepared for them. The only problem with that is if Azura kept the power of... Amity stopped abruptly, turning around. I think I heard something. Huh? Like what? Luce turned around. It was still noticeably bright out, as it was only 4 p.m., but the shadows cast into the woods made it look dark and dangerous. Hello? Luce called out. Nobody answered, and after a few more moments, the pair kept walking. Like I was saying, Amity might have been a little on edge from earlier. The man's creepy stare still prominent in her mind. If Azura were to keep the powers of the righty-mighty, the power she was going to use to help the prince, there would have been a problem with... The loud snap of a twig cut her off. Okay, yeah, I definitely heard that. Luce turned around, glaring into the woods. She reached instinctively for her pocket, where Stringbing was curled up, in her wooden form. Amity seemed to have the same idea, as Ghost quickly sprung to life and jumped onto the purple-haired girl's shoulder. A gasp from the woods all but confirmed their guesses. Who's there? Amity asked loudly. It wasn't a friend, or someone with good intentions. Either of them would have come out by now. A bush rustled as someone ran by it, making their way through the woods to a different position, but still staying close. Within a second, Stringbing and Ghost had become staffs, and Luce and Amity stood back, watching the woods. Last chance to come out without being attacked, Luce hollered, preparing for a battle. Okay, this is okay. Jacob didn't dare to look around the trees, lest the witches strike him down and steal his teeth. Who knows? Maybe with his, they'll have enough to fuel their time machine on Mars. That would dispel disaster for the human race. Though he didn't think the taller one with non-pointing ears was a witch, she didn't seem demon-like. Could she have been converted? She did hold a staff, and seemed like she knew how to use it. She also seemed incredibly violent. He'll have to take down 2 himself for the sake of humanity. Good thing I brought my trusty pocket sword. Jacob pulled 6 small pieces from his pocket and began sliding them together. Soon enough, he had a full, lightweight blade. It was red, to match his commission-set armor, with yellow streaks down the side, like fire. I've got this, Jacob. Your last attempt at catching a demon worked. You got the strange snake one, so witches should be a snitch. Ah! A man ran out from the bushes, holding a medium-sized sword. Stand down, demons! You witches are no match for me. I'll strike you down. Ugh, you! Luce groaned, and Stringbing shifted back into her normal form. The snake shifter curled up in Luce's pocket, peeking out curiously. He's the one who's staring at me in the parlor. You know him? Amity didn't relax her stance, eyeing the man suspiciously as he weaved his sword around in an attempt to be threatening. Sadly, he's the one that captured V. He's obsessed with the demon realm, but he thinks you're all from Mars, and he wants to steal teeth or something or another. Luce explained before turning to him. And what's your problem? I have a sword. Fear me. Jacob made them aware of the presence again. He didn't seem to like the idea of being forgotten. It's plastic, dude. That thing would have bent if you tried to hit anyone with it. Luce said. Amity looked incredibly annoyed with the man. I'm not from Mars, wherever that is, and I don't want to steal your teeth. I want you to leave so I can have a nice date with my nice girlfriend. I know your kind always lies. If you haven't converted the mortal to evil, why does she carry one of your staffs? Wait, does it control her mind? Jacob took a cautionary step backwards, glaring at Stringbing. The snake shifter hissed at him, trying to look scary despite her cute nature. Look, Just back off, Lou said. She was fed up with the man's antics, even more so than she'd normally, due to the fact that he was crashing her date. I'll free you from your mind control. Do not worry. Jacob rushed forward to the pair, rising his sword above his head. Amity turned her staff sideways, blocking the attack. Though when the sword made contact with the wood, the staff shattered into pieces. Huh. One more than he started with. That's fine. Ah! Leave me in peace! Jacob backpedaled. Literally, he ran backwards a few paces before striking another fighting stance, closed fist raised to his chest. You leave! We aren't messing with you! Amity yelled, giving the man a death glare. You're taking the innocent human hostage. Do you plot to use her as a barricade chip when you need extra teeth? I won't let you. Jacob took 2 steps forward, his fist still raised. Enough! Leave or I'm calling the cops. Lou shouted at him. Taking out her phone, she began dialing a number, causing Jacob to freak out. No, I can't go back to the sheriff's office. He doesn't believe in monsters from Mars. He'll lock me up! Jacob ran backwards until he was almost out of sight, before breaking into a full sprint away. Ugh, what a loser. Luce groaned, stifling from her back pocket. Good idea, calling the police, Amity said as Ghost returned to normal, playfully pawing at Stringbing. I hope that didn't put us too far behind. Do we still have enough time to make it to the spot? Luce asked hopefully. She hunted down Jacob and taken his teeth for real if he had messed up the entire date Amity had planned for them. Yeah, we should still be able to make it. A picnic basket set underneath a lone, pink tree on a hill, leaves falling slowly around it. It had to be magical. A tree just like the one from Grom in the human realm, not to mention the fact that cherry blossoms didn't bloom in fall. Amity! Luce hugged her girlfriend tightly. It looks beautiful. Thanks. Amity smiled, looking out at the sunset. They made it just in time, hardly getting to see the stars as they hiked up the mountain. If Jacob Hawkins had stayed any longer, they would have missed the main event. Let's eat. The purple-haired girl smiled, making a circle in the air. A place picnic basket appeared on the blanket. It was invisible? Luce asked. I didn't want any wildlife to get to it, since I had to leave it up here this morning. Amity explained with a smile. Luce hummed in agreement and sat down to eat with Amity. So, about why you think Azura couldn't have had Hecate for help in the final book? Okay, yeah, there's literally no way that this one could have, continued at all. Like, at all. I mean, maybe, but like, that one is one of those where it's like, yeah, no, that's just a one-shot. And it was a pretty lengthy one-shot too, so I quite enjoyed it. It was a nice one. I liked it. We then have the next one, which is called The Fight of Our Lives. It's angsty. This takes place instead of Luce trying to fight Belos alone and breaking the portal during Edith's petrification. Trigger warning, major character death, blood. Hope you like it. I don't know how to feel. Because look, I know you, Kingston, I know you. But like at the same time, for all I know, this could actually be angsty. It could be the one time I let my guard down and turns out you come to stab me. You know? And I don't want to get stabbed. Being stabbed is not fun. Don't ask how I know. Actually, never been stabbed, so don't worry. It's not like I've been stabbed. I haven't. Like at all. Really. I promise. Maybe? Kind of? No? Yeah? Yeah, no? No, yeah? Yeah? Okay, anyways, as always, my raindrops, I liked your writing, Kingston. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.